Hey good people, so I am making some sweet potato pie and this is for the holidays. I'm making this actually for Thanksgiving, but of course you can make these sweet potato pies anytime during the year. So I am going to get started by getting my ingredients together, and I am using the Pillsbury pie crust, the deep dish. So I'm going to be making 2 pies. Normally I make 1. So if you go onto my website and you are looking at the ingredients, and that website address is plussizeinchicago.com, and you search for sweet potato pie, you look at the ingredients, it's going to technically be for 1 pie that's, for a deep dish size. But I am today on video doing enough so that it is for 2 pies. So that means I am going to be using 3 medium-sized sweet potatoes instead of 2. So with my pie crust, I got to get those prepared, and I'm going to be letting those thaw for at least 10 minutes. Now, I'm starting off by cleaning my sweet potatoes, and I'm going to set those to the side. I'm going to pierce those, and I have my oven preheated for 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to bake these sweet potatoes for approximately 1 hour. And that's just to make sure that I can do this. Pierce them really good with a fork. If I am not able to pierce it, it's going to be hard to mix it in my standing mixer, or if I'm using a hand mixer. Now, these sweet potatoes are super duper hot, and I'm going to let them cool for at least about 20 minutes. In the meantime, I am placing my pie crust inside the oven so those can bake for 10 minutes also. Now, I'm getting in a bowl together some brown sugar as well as some granulated sugar. I'm adding a 1/2 cup each, but I'm later going to realize that, yeah, I got 3 sweet potatoes, so I'm going to have to add at least more sugars for both, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar as well as an additional 1/4 cup of white sugar. So I'm also going to be adding in here some cinnamon as well as some nutmeg. And again, I'm adjusting because I got 3 sweet potatoes instead of 2. I'm also adding some salt. And like I had said, I realized again, I have 3 sweet potatoes, so I'm going to add a little bit more sugar. So I'm going to add an additional 1/4 cup of brown sugar as well as the white sugar to this too. As I mentioned before, I have the pie crust in the oven. Those have been baking for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to pull those out so that they can rest. What I should have done when I was baking these pie crusts was to add my pie rates, but I was being lazy. It was a lot of cooking going on. But what I have done is bake those. I've taken them out. So you see the one on the right I had like a little bubbliness to it. So that's why I should have used the pie weights for this, but it's okay. The pies are still going to be good. You also saw that I added some cinnamon on top of those pie crusts too. You do not have to do that. It's just an optional thing. I like adding cinnamon, extra cinnamon to my pie crust. So these are the sweet potatoes. You see that I am wearing gloves because it's been like 20 minutes and these sweet potatoes are still piping hot. And I don't want to burn my fingers. I was doing that in the previous video when I've made some sweet potatoes. So I was like, you know what? I've learned my lesson. Let's wear some gloves with this. So I am going to peel those sweet potatoes and put them in a bowl. And once I do that, I'm going to add that bowl to my KitchenAid. You do not need to use a standing mixer when you're making a sweet potato pie. Of course, a hand mixer works just as well. But again, this is my baby, my KitchenAid, and I use this for a lot of my baking. So I'm going to start off by slowly stirring this. I have this on the lowest setting for the KitchenAid, and eventually I'm going to turn up the speed to like around a setting of 2 or 4, whichever the next speed is, so I can stir it up a little bit faster. The next thing that I'm going to start doing is adding my butter. I'm only going to add 1 stick of butter. And then after that, I'm going to start adding the rest of the ingredients that again are on my website at plussizeinchicago.com. So the next thing will be the condensed sweetened milk. Now, a lot of people, when they're making their sweet potato pies, they use evaporated milk. My previous mother-in-law, she informed me of this trick of using the sweetened condensed milk. So I learned this approximately 25 years ago, and I've been using the sweetened condensed milk ever since. I think it's better than evaporated milk because, you know, it just makes it a little bit more richer and more sweeter. So that's what I use when I'm making my sweet potato pies. So after I've gotten that all mixed in, I am adding some vanilla extract. I use the pure vanilla extract. I don't use the imitation. So whether you're using, you know, like McCormick's, or if you're using some vanilla bean paste, that will work also. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is adding those ingredients that I had in that bowl before, which was all of those sugars, that nutmeg, as well as that cinnamon and that salt. That all has been added. So see how simple that was, having it in one bowl and just tossing it in there. Now, I did taste it before I added the egg. You should always taste your batter before adding the egg, just for safety precautions. And for me, it was sweet enough, and that's the reason why I added the egg. So again, you see that I had it stirring slowly, and now I'm mixing it up faster. And of course, also you want to make sure that you use your spatula to wipe everything down, wipe the bowl down. So here is the sweet potato mixture going into that pie crust. And I am only going to bake it for about an hour. And again, this is a deep dish, so, you know, it may take a little bit longer to cook, you know, compared to if you're using like a regular pie crust. Plus, I also have it inside this glass container, so it also will make it take a little bit longer to cook. So I am baking this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I did turn the temperature down on the stove from 400 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's going to bake for 30 minutes. I'm going to take it out, see if it's still a little jiggly in the middle. If it is, I'm going to bake it for another 20 minutes, no more than 30 minutes, so that you have like a full hour of baking. And this is how it looks afterwards. These are my sweet potato pies. Everyone loves them. You know, if you make 2 of them and you have an extra one, you can always put it in the freezer, put it inside a freezer bag and freeze your pies. So I hope you guys liked what I have cooked in the kitchen today. Again, this is like one of my Thanksgiving staples, is making sweet potato pies. Of course, during Christmas as well as Easter. Those are the big eating holidays in my household. So I hope you all liked it. And again, you know, go to my website at plussizeInChicago.com to see the full recipe on how to get this done. So friends, if you're watching this on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, shout out to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, or maybe you're following me on one of those social media platforms. Thank you so much for coming back and cooking with me again. If you are new here, my name is Angela, and this is my account Plus Size in Chicago, where I make a lot of easy to cook comfort food meals. You'll also see me reviewing different restaurants in the greater Chicagoland area, or maybe showing you some places I ate while on vacation. Be sure to subscribe or follow me. Also leave a comment and share this video with your friends and family. I'll see you guys next time.